आपका आज
स्वागत है।
आज जो वीडियो हम देखने जा रहे हैं उसका टाइटल है
द शॉकिंग ट्रूथ बिहाइंड हिरानंदानी $1 बिलियन एम्पायर।
तो चलिए देखते हैं ये वीडियो। लेकिन से पहले
इस वीडियो चैनल का ओरिजिनल लिंक आपको मेरी वीडियो की डिस्क्रिप्शन मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब किया, लाइक किया, शेयर को फॉलो करें इनके चैनल को। उसके अलावा लोग चैनल का लिंक लिंक भी मेरी वीडियो की डिस्क्रिप्शन मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब किया, लाइक किया, शेयर को फॉलो करें।
तो चलिए देख लेते हैं ये वीडियो।
I am at the tip of Mumbai, एक ऐसी जगह where everyone dreams of having a home. This is Malabar Hill, and here lives a man who has built a city within a city. आज मैं आई हूँ रियल एस्टेट टाइकून डॉक्टर निरंजन हीरानंदानी से मिलने उन्हीं के खूबसूरत घर में where the foundation of his beautiful journey was set. For me, my show Stories from Bharat is about meeting people who build the nation brick by brick. तो आज के एपिसोड में हम समझेंगे कि किस तरह से एक ड्रीम को लेगेसी में बदला जा सकता है। This episode is not only for real estate lovers. This episode is for those who have dared to dream big.
दीवार में फिर भी कैमरा मूव कर रहा था तो अपनी लगी मुझे।
वैसे एक बात बोलूं, आप सब हमारे वीडियोस देखते हैं, उसे पसंद भी करते हैं, लेकिन सब्सक्राइब बटन दबाना भूल जाते हैं। अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया तो सब्सक्राइब बटन जरूर दबाएं, इससे हमें एनकरेजमेंट मिलेगी।
Hello, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And you have a beautiful house.
Thank you.
Like having a home in Malabar Hills, I think is on a wish list and dream list for many. And you have a home here.
Yes, really.
And I see the name of the building is Kanta. Is there a story around that as well?
Yes, it's my mother's name.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So, he made it after my mother, and I think the women of the house seem to always rule the roost. So, while I have a house in Powai, we still stay here simply because of the connection of people.
So how many floors is this building?
It's 6 floors.
Then how many people live in this building?
Well, we have 2 of us.
Okay.
My sister-in-law stays on one of the floors, and we have 2 tenants just to keep it slightly more occupied.
And more lively and
more lively. So this is a nice favorite spot. In the evenings, it's very beautiful over here.
You can get a bit of a sea view as well over here.
More than the sea view, I mean, we just enjoy the place.
I think now it explains why you still choose Malabar Hills over Powai. Where was your first house really in Malabar Hills?
Very close by, just down the road.
Okay.
And let me tell you the story. When we were shifting with my father, mother, and brother, Kamal and the little baby, I actually cried. I didn't want to come here because I was a part of the other house and didn't want to actually move. So I think I get attached, to places.
The house still belongs to you only.
It's now with my brother Surendra.
Okay.
So he has that place completely and I have this place.
So there's one thing common between the two of us. We are both Sindhis.
Yes.
And I've heard stories, from my father and my grandfather of how we all came from the province of Sindh with nothing in our hands, started everything from scratch. तो मैं जानना चाहूँगी आपने क्या stories सुनी है अपने father से, grandfather से about coming here and starting all over again here in India?
My father was anyway from a very poor family.
Okay.
And my grandfather died when my father was only 5.
Okay.
So my father had a difficult time even in Sindh when he grew up and actually. But before independence, he was in a medical college in Mumbai because there was no medical college in Karachi. And somehow he managed to come over here. But my rest of the family, both on my father's side and especially my mother's side, who were very well off and had properties all over in Sindh, lost everything. And everybody started from scratch.
तो ये भी एक दूसरी बात है कि सिंधीज के ब्लड में हमेशा बिजनेस रहता ही है एंड टू डू बिजनेस। पर आपने बताया आपके डैड एक्चुअली एक डॉक्टर थे, अ प्रोफेशनल, राइट? तो हाउ डिड ही डिप इनटू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ बिजनेस? आपने बताया ये बिल्डिंग उन्होंने बनाई थी, हाउ डिड दैट हैपन?
उसकी एक छोटी सी कहानी है।
हाँ जी।
वो कभी बिजनेस का ब भी नहीं किया।
ओके।
हाँ, लेकिन उनको ये इच्छा थी कि एक दिन हम यहाँ मकान करें। तो वो उस ज़माने में पैसे LIC से लिए और ये ज़मीन खरीदी और धीरे धीरे से ये मकान बनाया। लेकिन उसको सब पैसे बहुत कठिन से उनको वो रिटर्न कर दिए। इसलिए जब हम वहाँ नेपिंसी रोड पर रहते थे किराए के मकान पे, यहाँ का मकान हम कुछ पगड़ी में दे दी, कुछ किराए पर दे दी। और जब हमें यहाँ शिफ्ट होना था तब हमारे पास जगह भी नहीं थी। धीरे धीरे उनको एक एक करके हमने खाली करवाया और फिर हम लोग यहाँ शिफ्ट हुए। तो ये बहुत कठिन उनके लिए था, लेकिन उन्होंने कर दिया। उनका एक एम्बिशन रहा, इसलिए परिवार को एक बेस नया बन गया।
बिल्कुल।
While elder son Surendra ji pursued medicine just like his father, Niranjan ji had different plans. He ventured into textile space and also invested in real estate. But both ventures ended in failure in the beginning.
जब हमने शुरुआत की तो एक टेक्सटाइल यूनिट कांदीवली में चारकोप में हमने लूम की एक फैक्ट्री लगाई थी और धीरे से एक इन्वेस्टमेंट हमने रियल एस्टेट में भी किया। लेकिन 2-3 साल में दोनों फेलियर, वी फेल्ड इन बोथ and I had to pay off the debts. Which one to sell? I didn't know. Real estate बेच दे या टेक्सटाइल यूनिट बेच दे। लेकिन हमें एक सहूलत मिली। I got a letter from the union saying they wanted 100% increase in wages. मैंने कहा वो चिट्ठी में कुछ गलती होगी, वो एक 0 एक्स्ट्रा लगा दिए, 10% चाहिए। लेकिन दत्ता सामंत के ज़माने थे जब यूनियनाइज बॉम्बे बहुत था, तो उसमें डिसाइड कर दिया कि वो टेक्सटाइल की फैक्ट्री बेच दे और मैंने बेच दिया और कंप्लीटली रियल एस्टेट में आ गए। एंड आई कुडंट लुक बैक क्योंकि आई वांटेड टू मेक अ सक्सेस। तो एक फेलियर के बाद हमें ये नहीं चाहते थे कि कहीं आगे हम फेल हो, तो इसलिए इतनी मेहनत की कि आई कुड सक्सीड इन रियल एस्टेट।
Where did your risk appetite come from?
I used to study other people who were actually doing very well in the world of business, and I, being a novice and new person in the line, saw a lot of successful people who were my father's patients. So a lot of big businessmen in Mumbai, the Birlas were his patients, the Mafatlals were his patients. All the people who had wealth or did big things at that time were his patients in Mumbai and probably all over the country. So Mahindras were his patients. So what happened is that I did think that I should also try to become big, not only for myself, but to become big in the eyes of my father. जैसे आप देखिए, हमारे पास एक ज़माने में फिएट और एम्बेसडर गाड़ियाँ थी। दोनों कंपनी को एक चेंजेस दिखा। क्या था कि नए गाड़ियाँ आ रही है, लेकिन दोनों को ये लगा कि हम जूने तरीके से कर सकते हैं काम, और वो बंद हो गए। लेकिन उनको टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज कर लेते उस जमाने में, तो वो कंटिन्यू हो जाती। तो इसलिए हमें आगे देखना है कि वो बिजनेस हमारे लिए उसके में फ्यूचर है कि नहीं है। इज देयर अ फ्यूचर ऑफ दैट बिजनेस? एंड इफ देयर इज अ डाउनफॉल टेम्पररी, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, बट एज लॉन्ग एज देयर इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म विजन ऑफ दैट प्रॉब्लम, देन यू शुड कंटिन्यू इट।
Now that brings me to something interesting. I've been told जब आप हीरानंदानी, जब आप पवई को रीबिल्ड करने का सपना देख रहे थे, everybody advised you against it, right? What is it that still got so much conviction in you that you went ahead with whatever was your vision?
Very difficult at that point of time, obviously. There's a story behind it. I built 11 buildings in Lokhandwala complex. Every time I made a building there and completed it, I looked outside the balcony. There were bad roads, no water, no street lights, no sewage lines, no gardens in that area. There was nothing. And there were 250 buildings being constructed in that one complex. And I was making 11 of them. And every time I would buy one plot, sell it, then go to the next plot, buy it, and then sell it. But it left me very incomplete. And I worked together. I formed an association of all the builders. I became a secretary. I worked hard to make roads. I made street lights, stormwater drains and everything in gardens. And I was quite irritated. And I decided one day, एक जगह लूँगा जहाँ सब कुछ मैं बनाऊँगा, दूसरे के भरोसे पर मैं कुछ नहीं रहूँगा. तो पवई एक हमारे एक ऐसे विजन या ड्रीम थी और कि हम नए जगह लेंगे, वहाँ मकान तो बनाएंगे, गार्डन्स भी बनाएंगे, स्कूल भी बनाएंगे, हॉस्पिटल भी बनाएंगे, रास्ते साफ रहेंगे, फुटपाथ बहुत बढ़िया रहेंगे. एक दिमाग में वो था. That's a jump that I took as far as Powai is concerned.
जो मैं बता रही थी about the state of Powai and how it used to be.
Quarry land, खजान, 250 एकड़ में 20 झाड़ थे.
So what made you choose the barren land of Powai?
Because that person was ready to sell it to me and nobody else was foolish enough to buy it.
Well, foolish or not, they are regretting whoever didn't buy that.
Yes.
If I may ask you, at what price did you buy the 250 acres of land?
I didn't even tell my father.
Really?
Because he would have got a heart attack.
But you took a loan to buy that
Yes,
land.
I borrowed money, and it was borrowed money at 2% interest per month to pay for the land.
I'm sure you would have had many sleepless nights to figure out how would you repay that.
Yes, it was very difficult, and I think probably, but you know, young people do jumps, and I think I was young enough to take up that part of it at that time. But let me tell you, what vision I had and what ultimately got created was 100x of what I dreamt. So I did even much better than what I had dreamt I would make.
Your father saw what you created?
Oh, he loved it, and he was very, very happy at the end. And, he died at the ripe age of 96, about 11 years ago. And he was very happy that, I was succeeding. And, in the young days, I used to be known as Dr. L.H. Hiranandani's son. And one day somebody said, "You're father of Niranjan Hiranandani." And so he came home and he was quite happy inside, but he kind of made a frown in the face and he said, earlier you would be known as my son, and now I'm being known as your father. He frowned, but internally he was very happy.
Did you at any point of time feel that you've made a mistake by investing in Powai?
Bad times have come many times, and difficult times have come much more frequently. When it succeeded, people kind of picked holes in it. You were lucky, the city grew, you bought the place at the right time, this happened, that happened, and you succeeded. So we went for the next project, Hiranandani Estate in Thane, and we made another project in a place where no builder was ready to go, and we made the second project, made it equally successful. So the point is that this kind of project can be successful repeatedly, and we'll continue to do so.
When you started real estate, did you have a vision, and did it come a stage where you felt like I have achieved what I had envisioned? Did that happen?
It happened at the age of 52.
Okay.
I decided that I would give up real estate. I would give up the business of business and probably only do charitable work.
Really?
Yeah, but the circumstances changed. There was issues in the house, and issues as far as external world is concerned, and there's some problems with the government and other things. And I decided, no, I will continue to work on those and put it there. But I then focused also on the other aspects of it, because that was my new aspiration, and I didn't want to leave it. So I focused on education too. My father was very happy that I was doing it. Then we put up the hospital. My dad was very happy to it. So I achieved both. Something which I internally wanted to do, and it also made my father happy. Then I focus on education. So running 14 colleges, 45,000 students, constantly working how to upgrade these colleges. Upgrading the hospital, looking at putting up other hospitals, focus on how we can improve the kind of service that we give through our hospitals. Last year, 1st of August 2024, I get a call from Mr. Ratan Tata, a friend who's no more. He asked me that, Niranjan, would you become a trustee with me on a new trust that I'm creating, Tata Parkinson Trust. What could I say? That he had faith in me, that I would do work on that trust. And I became a co-trustee on that.
Is that also the secret to stay healthy and happy? Keep yourself occupied with a lot of things?
The answer is yes, but different places you have to be careful, because in different places your secret of happiness is different. So when you're dealing with your wife, the secret is different.
Okay.
And when you have to deal with your work, the secret is different. When you have to deal with community service, it's totally different.
Right.
So, in different segments, you got to be different.
Right.
If you think that what works in business is going to work in your home, you'll have a divorce pretty fast.
I was now curious to meet the woman who's been by his side for almost 50 years, Mrs. Kamal Hiranandani, his quiet yet unwavering pillar of support, who today plays an active role in the business as Managing Director at Hiranandani Group.
So, sir, I'm finally meeting the boss. Is she the main boss?
Absolutely.
You think so? Do you think so?
I will know by the end of this conversation. But I can see a delicious spread.
मुझे सर्व किया गया एक डिलिशियस सिंधी स्प्रेड, जिसने मुझे अपने घर के कंफर्ट की याद दिला दी।
दाल भी समोसे हैं।
I can smell Sindhi curry from a distance itself. Is that one of your favorites, or how does it usually?
My favorite.
Even mine.
Okay.
I think we are brought up with that culture of having Sindhi curry every Sunday.
Indeed, yeah.
So, how long have you both known each other for?
So I think we got engaged about 51 years back.
Wow.
So I would say at that time.
Was it a love marriage or an arranged marriage?
So there's a story about that.
Okay.
The story goes like this, that we went for a community function and my father and I were there. And he said, there, and that was about maybe 40, 50 feet away or 60 feet away. And I said, oh, yeah. He says, you see that girl? So I said, there are 3 girls. So he said, no, the girl with the long hair covering the hips. So I said, okay, what about her? He says, what do you think of her? So I said, she's looking good. You like her? So I said, yeah, I like her. Then he said, will you marry her? I said, but who is this girl? I don't know her at all. I thought my father would introduce, we would meet and all.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He went to their parents' house
Yeah.
next day morning at 8:30 and proposed.
Straight for marriage.
Straight for marriage.
And ma'am, what was your reaction? Was that an instant and impulsive yes? Much like
We were not asked, those days we were not asked.
Okay.
So my father would say, you have to get engaged. And if you said no, then he would ask you have anybody else in mind. Otherwise, it is supposed to be yes.
Right. You didn't have anybody else at that point of time.
Only 16, just passed from school.
Oh.
She got married when she was 18 and 2 days.
Okay. So you were just
So it's
waiting.
legal, it's legally legal. And I think the most difficult period of my life when I was struggling and growing up, she was the most supportive person. She never had any demands whatsoever.
Right.
Very easy to take care of.
Somebody being as ambitious as Mr. Hiranandani, you would have also had some sacrifices along the way, because he would dedicate, even now I'm hearing the things that he's involved in. How would he often, as a wife, I think there's only one perspective of getting your husband's time, attention, going out, going for holidays, vacation, all of those things.
There's only one way. Have no expectations. That's the only way. Because if I expect that he will give me time and he can't, then I'll be unhappy. So
Right.
I must know where to be happy, how to be happy. That's it. I don't think I've been ever asked you also, right? Take me out of town, take me out, take me for a movie, take me for dinner. Never. But God has been kind. I get everything on a platter.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to
would you-
think that way also. That
Absolutely.
you didn't have to ask.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
God gave you everything.
Right. आप दोनों आपस में mostly सिंधी में बात करते हैं?
बहुत बार.
Acha, that's like the natural way of communicating. Even my parents, I always see them. Like the minute they look at each other, it's only Sindhi that comes.
Also, you know, I stayed with my mother-in-law
Okay.
for 32 years and she only used to speak Sindhi. So my children also know Sindhi,
Oh wow.
which is very rare.
Which is very rare. Yeah.
Which is very rare. So if I want to talk to my son something confidential, I'll talk to him in Sindhi.
Not in front of me because I understand.
I know. Good you told me.
But tell me, do you remember your first international holiday together as a couple?
Yes, I remember. We were on a shoestring budget. We had a tenant here in this same house, correct? He was working for Alitalia. He was the executive of Alitalia. So my father-in-law negotiated with him to get us a free ticket, right? But that was a lot of fun.
We really couldn't afford a hotel in New York. So we stayed at a friend's house who was in suburban New York.
Okay.
And we used to use the metro, the train there to go back to New York and see the city.
And one of the cities, we had booked ourselves in a hotel, and then when we crossed the road, it was $50 less. So we moved out of that hotel with our stroller and everything, bags and everything, and we stayed there.
Do you also remember the first car or any
Yeah.
branded item? Yeah, first car. What's the story there?
First car was the third-hand car of Birla Executive.
Not a second-hand car.
Third-hand.
Third-hand car.
And it used to stop.
Which car
And-
was it?
Ambassador.
Okay.
1727, right? Number.
Oh, she remembers the number as well.
And we would get down on the road, push the car. When it would start, we would sit in the car. Literally like Chalti ka naam gaadi.
Some really fond memories there. But were you excited to get the first car? What memory do you have with that?
As I told you, everything what I got was a bonus.
But is there any advice that you would like to give to our viewers out there? I mean, 50 years of marriage in today's time seems like a blessing and not heard of, but it's nice and admirable.
I think one of the basic things is that no two people in the world can be same. In many times in life, just like your work, you may not be very fond of the work that you do. But if you want to be successful, you have to love your work. I think that idea of adjustment with each other to understand and appreciate the differences which are there and relish the good points of the other person is not seen. What we see now is what is the disqualification of the spouse? What is she not good at? And we forget all the 20 things that she or he is very good at. And I think they kind of undervalue what they already have and try to focus on what the other person is not in their eyes,
Yeah.
in the perception of eyes, So I think that type of thing is, that accommodation and understanding is not created. And I mean, this seems to be the new world. So, you'll find divorces taking place like this simply because you find fault with the spouse all the time. And it's so easy to find fault. I mean, if she had to find fault in me, maybe 50,000 faults. So, no end of it. But kind of, I think she looked at, okay, what is Niranjan good at? At least I think so. So something that I'm okay with. And there are 10,000 things good about her. But there may be 50 things I hate about her. But that doesn't matter. But there's 50,000 things which is good about her. So I think you just focus on what is good and accept what is bad, because otherwise there's no such thing as a perfect human. And so they can't be a perfect spouse, no matter
अच्छी
what
बात
you
की है
do.
ना।
You can be
Even
complimentary.
even if I kind of change 100%, I can't be perfect because there's no such thing as perfection, because it's always in the eyes of the beholder what really the other person is. So I think understanding of the good points of somebody and enjoying that rather than, finding fault. It's so easy to find fault,
Yeah.
I think people lose that extra touch.
But also, sir, working with so many people who are bringing in different energies, different visions, everybody coming with their own personal agendas. And I'm sure you're working with close to about 5,000 to 10,000 people, different divisions. How is it just managing people and their emotions and things like that? I mean, I'm sure you would have had a journey of evolution there. But what would you like to talk about that?
Again, there's no perfect answer to anything that you do. Whenever you try to manage larger number of people, you have to have better people with you, and you have to have trusted people with you. If you can gather sufficient number of good people and trusted people with you, you can really grow the organization and deal with good. And that's not what I'm talking about in the world of business. It's also in the not-for-profit activity. But one thing is certain, that over a period of time, people recognize the difference between a boss and a leader. The boss bullies. The leader leads. And people look up to a leader. People tolerate a boss. So if you can be a leader and not a boss, many things will fall into place. You'll still get bad guys, you'll still get problems, you'll still have the same problem. But the entire machinery, the entire way people look at you, appreciate you, work with you, will change completely if you're a leader rather than a boss.
What is the difference between a leader and a boss?
Look at the example, I'll tell you. Look at Ratan Tata. He died, he was a very moneyed man. Not a single newspaper in the first 15 days talked about how much wealth Mr. Ratan Tata had when he died. So beautiful. They talked about his trust, they talked about his dog, they talked about what he did, good things he did and all that, and people spoke on that. That is important. So that makes a great difference in the lives of person, because we are all going to die one day.
Yeah.
How are you going to live? That feeling of bitterness among the people around you, that, for the sake of money, you will do anything, cheat anybody, do wrong thing. I think that is the major lesson that we all need to learn in life. And if you do that, you can never fail. You may lose some money somewhere.
Yeah.
You may not make as much money. You may make less money. You may not be the wealthiest person on this earth. And I think it's irrelevant. After a certain period of time, after you've got your minimum, it actually doesn't make any difference whether I'm going to die with 1,000 or 2,000. It's not. Money is very important, but it's just a means. At a particular stage in time, you're not going to just focus on wealth and creation and valuation that you really need to do. It's not important. At least to me, it's irrelevant. And I think that's the difference why I valued what Mr. Ratan Tata did in his life and completed it. And people looked up in that way. I wish when I die, people think of me that way, not as a wealthy man, but as somebody who was a good person, who did good things, made good things, gave good things to the world.
Yeah.
And I think that is important.
Yeah.
And it's only because I have a good wife.
There's also the stereotype that Sindhis are conjuice. Is that true?
Should
or false?
I disprove you that?
Yeah.
We were trying to raise some money for some colleges,
Okay.
for some of our charitable institutions. And everybody told me that in Ulhasnagar, Sindhis will not give money. Can you believe it? The first 25 lakhs and 1 crore came from a Sindhi family in Ulhasnagar for Chandibai College.
Wow.
And it didn't come for the city college. First came there.
Myth
So
busted.
that myth is busted for you and for me.
And for all of our viewers as
All
well.
our viewers also.
Sindhis are not conjuice.
No, they are not conjuice. In fact, the largest amount of charity in Mumbai are from Sindhis who have put up hospitals, institutions, schools,
Colleges.
colleges, everything. all that has happened for Sindhis. And if you look at the colleges, maybe 25-30% are actually Sindhis in all these colleges. And they are non-Sindhis that we actually take care. Take our hospital. Only 5% of the people who come to our hospital is Sindhis. And then you have Hindujas, you have Rahajas, you have Inlaks, plenty of the hospitals which are there. So I think the community as a whole is very, very generous and has done more for non-Sindhis than Sindhis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As someone from real estate space, I have some quick rapid fire questions for you to understand this space. So tell us, buying or renting in Mumbai, what's smarter today?
Buying you must do. You can rent for temporarily and for your work or wherever you want, but always buy a house because social security is not there in the future. And if you have a house, that's your biggest social security.
What should be your minimum income to be able to afford a house today?
Well, Deepak Parekh says it should be 5 years income. So you don't have to buy a house which you're renting and staying. But you can buy a house which is at peripheral areas or other things, but it's welcome to do it. And you get the lowest money at the lowest rate of interest today, which is less than 8%.
For somebody who's wanting to buy the first house with a low income group, where would you recommend that person should invest?
So it's all in the peripheral areas of Mumbai. You can be at Mira Road, you can be in Virar, you can be in Panvel, you can be in any of the areas which are in peripheral areas because the city prices may be too high. Luckily, the commute now is improving because of the train service and metros which are going to come up. I think that's the advantage.
What's the lowest price per square foot that you've ever seen in Mumbai?
In Powai, I sold, when I started Powai at 450 rupees a foot. In Eden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the highest, and in Lake Castle, I sold it at 850 rupees a foot. And the resale price in that building is today 42,000 rupees a foot.
Okay, and what's the highest you've seen in India?
2 lakhs of rupees a foot, and, which has been recently sold.
Two
It
and a
was
half.
there in the paper. 2.5 lakhs of rupees, yeah.
Wow, okay. Which city is currently underrated in terms of real estate investment?
I don't think there is any city which is underrated today. Actually, it's the places in the cities which are going to grow. So if you look at peripheral of certain cities, like Noida, like Panvel and other areas, they're grossly underrated today because today the connectivity has just improved.
Right.
So the kind of mood is really down. So you're going to see a huge growth story in these areas.
One city you think is overpriced?
Every city is overpriced in a particular part of that city.
One Indian city you would bet your money on for the next 10 years?
Mumbai, Mumbai periphery.
Okay. Do you think real estate prices would come down anytime soon?
Doesn't look like in the near future. And except for the fact in some areas, the Prime Minister is working with the affordable housing under the PMAY scheme. So those areas you will get lower price points in terms of the schemes which come under that. So there will be 1 crore of houses in the country which will be lower price points in different areas.
So that oversupply could lead
No,
to a
there's
drop?
no oversupply. We're still short of housing.
Okay. If not Mumbai, where would you choose to retire?
Dubai or London, because my grandchildren are in Dubai and the other grandchildren are in London.
Okay. Malabar Hills or Powai? Choose one.
No.
That's a tough one, right?
No, it's not tough at all. It's no, it's not tough at all. At this present point of time, it's still Malabar Hill, but
Okay.
it could be Powai any moment. You can never know, tomorrow I may.
Is owning a house still a part of an Indian dream or is that changing?
No, the young people think differently, but I think it's mistake. We should correct that mistake and we have to think and tell people to buy the houses when they can afford to do so. And I strongly recommend that they should buy. You can rent a house for some time in your life. I'm not saying you don't, but in the aspiration should be to buy a house.
What is the ideal age to buy a house? Should millennials be buying homes in their 30s or wait it out?
If you can do it at 30s, don't wait for 31.
Okay.
But it depends. Different people have different aspirations and they may wait a while and do it at 40. But younger people are buying houses left, right and center for me.
What's one mistake most first-time buyers make?
Many of the first-hand buyers are looking at price points and they don't look at a brand. So when they buy a shoe, they buy a brand. When they buy a shirt, they look at a brand. But when they buy a house, they just look at the lowest possible price and go to it. And sometimes the person who's there is not able to deliver. So I think they need to look at both in terms of credibility of the seller.
One real estate myth you wish people would stop believing.
That every builder is bad.
Would we see a Hiranandani development in Dubai as well?
We already have.
Oh.
A 90-story, the second tallest residential tower in the world is built by my son, Hiranandani, in 23 Marina. And it's the second tallest residential tower in the world today.
Oh, nice. Tell us about your future plans as well. What is your vision? How do you see the legacy going forward for Hiranandani? And do you ever think about that?
Legacy is about people who will come behind you. But as far as I'm concerned, we are going to grow. We are going to grow in the real estate space. We are going to take at least 10 new projects in the next 2 years. We are going to expand our hospitals.
Right.
We are going to increase our arena of schools in terms of education. We are going to do skill development for the poorest of poor.
And ma'am, would love to know, what does success really mean to you today?
Success means you are remembered for your integrity. Success means people have so much confidence that they will not be cheated and they trust you blindly.
Right.
I mean, that is more.
Lots of tips, lots of lessons. It's been wonderful talking to you both. Thank you so much for serving me really good Sindhi food. I've not tried this one. This aloo patties is something that I really love, in a heart shape. This is exactly what I'm saying for both of you. Thank you so much for inviting me to your house and really serving me this good food and sharing those lessons. Thank you.
Thank you for all the love.
हीरानंदानी नाम जो है वो मैंने पहले सुना हुआ था, लेकिन जो है फर्स्ट टाइम जो है मैं उन्हें देख रहा हूँ यार। वैसे एक चीज़ है कि इंडिया में जो आपको एलीट क्लास से देखने को मिलती है ना, एक तो डिसेंट काफ़ी होते हैं और दूसरा उनका घर का जो एक ऑरा होता है ना, वो भी बहुत डिफरेंट आपको फील होता है।
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ना, आप जब भी किसी बड़े इंसान को सुनते ना और उसके पीछे जो उनकी स्ट्रगल की कहानियाँ होती हैं, वो बहुत आपको इंस्पायर करती हैं, मोटिवेट करती हैं। इनफैक्ट आज भी जिस तरह से उन्होंने अपना पूरा एक बैकग्राउंड स्ट्रगल का बताया अपने फादर को लेकर, फिर जब मतलब माइग्रेशन हुई उस इंसिडेंट्स को लेकर, फिर जिस तरीके से उन्होंने स्टार्ट की चीज़ें, अपनी पर्सनल प्रोफेशनल लाइफ, सब चीज़ों को किस तरीके से मेंटेन किया। कभी कभी मैं सोचती हूँ जब मैं मतलब ऐसे बड़े लोगों को सुनती हूँ कि वाकई में मतलब उन्होंने अपनी सारी ज़िंदगी, जो मतलब एक निचोड़ हम लोगों को अब आकर सुनने को मिलता है उनकी लाइफ का, तो ये उनकी इस एज में आकर उनको पता चलता है, या जो उनकी मिडिल एज होती है उसमें भी वो इसी सोच के साथ चल रहे होते हैं। मतलब सक्सेस को लेकर बात नहीं करी, बैलेंस को लेकर बात कर रही हूँ कि कैसे घर में लोगों के साथ, काम के साथ एक बैलेंस जो है वो मेंटेन करना है, क्योंकि चीज़ें कभी भी इतनी आसान नहीं होती आपको एक पॉइंट तक पहुंचने के लिए। और मुझे सर की एक बात बहुत बहुत अच्छी, वैसे तो हर बात उनकी बहुत अच्छी थी क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली उनकी ज़िंदगी का एक निचोड़ है जिस तरह से वो बातें शेयर कर रहे हैं। एक तो क्लैरिटी, जैसे उन्होंने बताया लीडर और बॉस के बीच में, दूसरा उन्होंने जिस तरीके से एक पार्टनरशिप को लेकर बात की, और ये सच में बहुत ज़्यादा है कि आजकल के टाइम में हम लोगों के लिए बहुत आसान है किसी की भी ना नेगेटिविटी को निकालना और उसको हाईलाइट करना, और हम लोग उतना ज़्यादा उन पॉजिटिविटी के बारे में नहीं सोचते और ना ही देखते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करती हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं पर आप किसी की लाइफ में कितना इन्वॉल्व होते हो और कितना नहीं इन्वॉल्व होना चाहते, आपकी क्या बाउंड्रीज़ हैं, आप उनको सेट करें। मुझे लगता है ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत मैटर करती हैं, जो कि एक मिडिल क्लास फैमिली जो है इन चीज़ों को इतना ज़्यादा नहीं समझती।
ये मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज़ की बात करें ना, तो वो तो हमेशा बहुत अजीब से मसलों में जो है ना फंसी रहती हैं, और अक्सर मैं इनसे बात भी करता हूँ कि मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज़ में ना बस यही आपको मसले देखने को मिलते हैं। हाँ, जो बिजनेस लेवल के लोग हैं वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट तरीके से जो है वो सोचते हैं,
वो इन चीज़ों में नहीं पढ़ते,
वो इन चीज़ों में हाँ हमें जो है वो कम होता भी होगा तो बहुत लिमिटेड स्केल पर जो है होता होगा उनका, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर बिजनेस वाले लोग जो हैं वो इतना ज़्यादा उस चीज़ में होते हैं कि
they are more focused
हाँ, कि वो अपना ज़्यादा टाइम जो है ना उसी पे जो है वो गुजारते हैं। उनके अगर बीच में लेके कोई रंजिश वगैरह भी होती होगी ना, वो बिजनेस डील्स को लेकर जो है वो होती होंगी। अच्छा, मुझे उनकी एक बात जो है ना वो अच्छी लगी कि समटाइम्स आपको चीज़ों को जाने देना चाहिए। जैसे उन्होंने अपनी फैक्ट्री की बात की थी ना, जो उनकी टेक्सटाइल मिल थी कि उन्हें वेजेस का जो है वो 100% जो है वो कहा गया। फिर उसके बाद जो है जिस तरह लाज़मी बात है, ये एक ज़िंदगी में आपके बहुत ड्रामेटिक चेंज आता है जब आप एक चलता चलाया कारोबार छोड़कर जो है आप दूसरी साइड पे जो है वो शिफ्ट हो जाएं। तो जो उन्होंने वो स्टेप लिया और जो उन्होंने वहाँ पे बात की ना, जाने देना चाहिए, आपको मूव ऑन करना चाहिए। तो लिटरली ये होता बहुत मुश्किल है, लेकिन ये चीज़ मुझे अच्छी लगी है कि वाकई ज़िंदगी में कुछ चीज़ों को ना जाने देना चाहिए।
और एक और चीज़ जो मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी वो ये इन्वेस्टमेंट से रिलेटेड जो उन्होंने एक एडवाइस ही मैं बोलूँगी, क्योंकि वाकई में लोग ब्रांड्स पे बहुत खर्च करते हैं, लेकिन जो एक्चुअली में इन्वेस्ट करना होता है वहाँ पर सब लोग सोचते हैं यार चलो थोड़ा पैसे यहाँ से बचा लेते हैं। यहाँ पर सही जगह पर सही इन्वेस्ट करना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। और मैं भी ये बात मानती हूँ भाई, अपना घर होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। चाहे आप सिंगल हो या चाहे आप मैरिड हो, अपना घर ज़रूर होना चाहिए,
बेशक छोटा सा हो,
बेशक छोटा सा हो, बट मुझे लगता है क्योंकि वो एक जो स्पेस है वो आपकी पर्सनल स्पेस है। और यू नो आपकी लाइफ में क्या अप्स एंड डाउन्स आते हैं आपको नहीं पता, बट एटलीस्ट आपके पास एक सिक्योर जगह है जहाँ पर आप रह सकते हो और आप
अपनी ज़िंदगी गुजार
सकते हो। तो मुझे लगता है ये चीज़ें वाकई में बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करती हैं कि इधर उधर पैसे खर्च करने से बजाय बेहतर है कि आप सही जगह पर इन्वेस्ट करो। बाकी ओवरऑल भाई मुझे उनका डाइनिंग टेबल बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि बहुत डिफरेंट खाने पड़े हुए थे। और कमेंट सेक्शन में आप जरूर बताइएगा कि आपको किसी लिए आज की वीडियो मिलेंगे। आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना।
गुड बाय।